Russia has deployed into service a new top-secret Star Wars missile that is designed to shoot down nukes and satellites. The S-550 missile defense system has entered combat duty, according to defense sources who spoke to state news agency TASS on Wednesday. While little is known about the missile, it is thought to be Russia's latest foray into the space arms race, designed to take out targets hundreds of miles above Earth such as low-orbit satellites, nuclear warheads, and orbital hypersonic weapons. Moscow is thought to have carried out a test of this weapon system last month when it blew up one of its own defunct spy satellites in a move that enraged Washington and ramped up tensions with NATO. Vladimir Putin has been rapidly bulking up his armed forces as he takes a more aggressive stance in Eastern Europe, pressures NATO to sign off on new security guarantees for Moscow, and forges alliances with China. Russia currently has up to 100,000 troops stationed along the Ukrainian border amid warnings from the Pentagon that an invasion could take place within weeks. And the Kremlin has staged a recent flurry of war games which NATO chiefs fear could be rehearsals for such an invasion. A ministry source told TASS today, the S-550 air defense system has successfully completed state trials. The first S-550 brigade has entered combat duty. He described the technology as superior to Western and Chinese capabilities, saying it is an absolutely new and unrivaled mobile system of strategic missile defense. The anti-satellite S-550 was among the new weapons systems that Putin had demanded should be fast-tracked, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said last month. Even so, its reported deployment with Russian rocket forces comes ahead of expectations. TASS said that official channels had not formally confirmed its defense ministry source's exclusive claim. The S-550 is seen as part of an air defense modernization involving the S-350 Vityaz, S-400 Triumph and S-500 Prometheus. They will completely cover the Russian sky from possible attacks, it was reported. Recent Russian reports suggest the S-550 is the same weapon as a satellite killer until now known as Noodle, a project clouded in secrecy. Pro-Kremlin Izvestia newspaper said it was part of one of the most covert domestic weapons programs ever conducted. Videos showing the launch of an unnamed new missile system at Saryshigin in 2020 and earlier this year are now suspected to be this Star Wars weapon. In Russia, the creation of a space defense system able to intercept the most difficult targets, satellites as well as ballistic missiles, has been in progress for more than 10 years, stated the report. For a long time this combat system was known by the Noodle designation. Specialists assume that this was precisely the system that successfully destroyed a satellite target during its first combat tests on 15 November. Experts believe that work on the latest weapon has already been completed, and it can acquire the official designation as the S-550 air defense missile system. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu personally declassified the S-550 designation before November test that blasted the redundant orbiting Soviet Artselina D military reconnaissance satellite to smithereens. Military expert Dmitry Boltenkov said last month, "It is most likely, S-550, will be the official designation acquired by the system being developed under the Nudal Research and Development Project." It will be part of the S-500 family, similar to the several versions of the S-300 and S-400 air defense systems that now exist concurrently. Other outlets have suggested that the S-550 and Nudal are separate or linked. Nudal was believed to use a silo launcher, while the S-550 is said to be mobile. TASS reported last month that the S-550 features the kinetic energy interceptor principle to avoid a nuclear detonation when a warhead is struck, citing military expert Dmitry Litovkin. He suggested the S-550 was a mobile follow-up to the A-135 Amur, A-235 Nudal. Last month both Western and Russian sources suggested the Nudal satellite killer was behind the strike, which provoked outrage in the US and Europe with claims it had put the International Space Station in jeopardy. State-controlled Russian Channel 1 TV host Dmitry Kiselyov, dubbed Putin's mouthpiece and propagandist-in-chief, claimed the satellite strike was a deliberate warning to the West not to cross the Kremlin's red lines on Ukraine. In the event of worsening relations, Russia could wipe out 32 GPS satellites crucial for NATO's military operations, including the pinpointing of missile strikes, he claimed. Putin has prioritized modernizing his military might despite a sluggish sanctions-hit economy, with living standards failing to improve for tens of millions of Russians. The Russian leader last week announced a flawless salvo test of its 6,670 mph unstoppable Zircon hypersonic missiles. However, as yet footage of this has not been released.